Mikey Williams was born in 2004 to Malone and Chrissy Williams, a family built for greatness. His dad was a former high school and college baller, while his mom tore up the track scene. That mix of athletic DNA and non-stop hustle turned Mikey into a straight-up phenom by age 12. He wasn't just good for his age, he was dominating. By middle school, he was dunking windmills mid-game, leaving packed gyms going wild like it was an NBA night. But Mikey had something the older generations never did: the internet. He came up during the age of virality, when one clip could make you a household name overnight. He didn't have to wait for college to get famous. He was already a superstar. By his freshman year at San Ysidro High School, Mikey had over 1 million Instagram followers, more than some pros playing in the NBA. His highlights were everywhere, his shoes were selling out fast, and before he could even vote, Mikey had already built himself into a brand. And don't get it twisted, he wasn't all hype. On the court, the kid was fire. As a freshman, he averaged close to 30 points a game and once dropped 77 points in a single matchup. 77! That's wild. He wasn't just flying over defenders. He could shoot, he could see the floor, and he played with grit. Scouts started saying his confidence reminded them of Russell Westbrook, and his explosiveness was like Derrick Rose. That's elite company. Mikey didn't shy away from the spotlight. He owned it. He talked to fans, posted constantly, and knew exactly how to keep everyone watching. By 16, he wasn't just a rising player, he was the face of Gen Z basketball. Maybe not the most polished yet, but easily the most influential. Then came the moment that changed everything. In July 2021, Mikey made history, becoming the first high school player ever to land a multi-million-dollar endorsement deal under the new NIL rules. Puma saw what the world already knew. This wasn't just about potential anymore. Mikey was a marketable powerhouse. His name, his game, his influence, it all hit different. That Puma deal marked more than just a win for Mikey. It was the start of a whole new era. Suddenly, high school athletes could flip fame into fortune. Being seen online was now just as powerful as being scouted in person. But behind all those flashing cameras, fancy contracts, and packed arenas, there was still just a 16-year-old kid trying to carry the weight of being a brand. And soon, the world would see just how heavy that really gets. Mikey Williams wasn't just a player anymore. He was a celebrity, a walking business. Every move he made had eyes on it, not from defenders on the court, but from millions of followers, brand execs, and media teams tracking his every step. He couldn't just focus on his jumper or defense. He had to think about algorithms, engagement rates, and endorsement goals. That's the new reality of fame. You don't just play the game anymore, you perform it. And nobody was performing harder than Mikey. For every highlight dunk, there was a deal to post. For every interview, another contract to sign. The grind wasn't just physical, it was mental, digital, and non-stop. Between 2019 and 2022, Mikey's journey got even more complicated. He bounced from San Ysidro to Lake Norman Christian in North Carolina, then back to California, and later to Vertical Academy, a school built for top-tier athletes with media buzz. But people started to wonder, was he chasing development or chasing views? Each move brought new coaches, new teammates, and new systems, but not always more growth on the court. From the outside looking in, it started to seem like the brand was running the show instead of the baller. And soon, the cracks began to show. His athleticism was still elite, but his overall game wasn't leveling up fast enough. Scouts started whispering, questioning whether Mikey was really being developed or just being marketed. Mikey Williams wasn't a bad player, not even close, but the expectations around him, they were unreal. He wasn't being compared to regular high school kids anymore. People were stacking his name next to Zion Williamson and future NBA All-Stars. He had the tools, no doubt, but there's a big difference between being talented and being ready. Every teenager goes through pressure, self-doubt, and trying to figure out who they are, but most teens don't see millions of people judging their every move. Most don't see their off nights turned into viral memes for the world to laugh at. At one point, Mikey even tweeted, "You all expect me to be perfect. I'm human." And that hit hard, because it's true. People forgot that behind all the fame and sponsorships was still just a kid, one expected to carry a brand, a legacy, and a future before he'd even stepped into a college locker room. The fame wasn't the real issue, it was the weight that came with it. Fame before full growth. Then came 2023, the year everything collapsed. On March 27th, what seemed like a normal day suddenly turned chaotic when news broke that Mikey Williams, once the most followed high school athlete in America, had been arrested. Reports said that an altercation took place at his $1.2 million home in Jamul, California, just outside San Diego. According to prosecutors, things got heated between Mikey and a group of visitors who were asked to leave the property, and as they drove away, gunshots were fired toward their car. Police later identified Mikey as the alleged shooter. 5 people were inside that vehicle, and though no one was injured, the seriousness of the moment hit instantly. The headlines exploded. Mikey was charged with 9 felony counts, including 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, 1 for shooting into an occupied car, and 3 more firearms charges. He was arrested, booked into jail, and later released on a $50,000 bond, but by then, the damage had already been done. The story went everywhere. The internet, TV, social media, his image flipped overnight. At the time, Mikey was supposed to join the University of Memphis under Coach Penny Hardaway, a massive opportunity, but the school suspended him indefinitely. He never practiced, never suited up, never even got to enroll. Everything he built up to that point, fame, deals, and hype, felt like it was all slipping away.
Puma went silent. Social media deals froze. The hype train that once burned hotter than ever, it came to a full stop. For fans who've been riding with Mikey since he was 14, it felt like a Greek tragedy. The rise, the fame, the fall. But for critics, it was something else entirely. Proof that the spotlight had finally caught up to him. And of course, the internet did what it always does, turn the chaos into memes, hot takes, and hate posts. But underneath all the noise was something people forgot, a real person. A 19-year-old kid now staring down the very real possibility of prison. Scouts started crossing his name off draft boards. Colleges stepped back one by one. The same kid who'd once been called the face of Gen Z basketball was suddenly labeled an outcast. And it raised one haunting question. Could all of this have been prevented? As his case dragged deeper into 2023, people started to wonder if Mikey's story had already hit its tragic end. But then, in a quiet courtroom with no cameras or flashing lights, something unexpected happened. A new chapter began. Mikey disappeared from the public eye for months. No games, no posts, no statements, just silence and a court battle hanging over his head. From March to November 2023, his entire future sat in limbo. The charges were serious, and they weren't going away easily. But behind the scenes, his legal team worked tirelessly on a deal, one that could keep him out of his cell, but not without consequences. Then in November, the decision came down. Mikey Williams accepted a plea deal. He pled guilty to 1 felony count of making criminal threats, and in return, the 8 other felonies, including assault with a deadly weapon, were dismissed. 8 charges gone. But freedom came with conditions: a full year of anger management, a gun safety course, 80 hours of community service, and no legal trouble for 12 months. If he completed everything successfully, the charge would drop to a misdemeanor. No prison time, no permanent felony record. A second chance, rare and priceless. But the judge didn't sugarcoat it. He looked Mikey in the eyes and made it clear: you're getting a rare opportunity. Don't waste it. Those words hit heavy. And just like that, the courtroom cleared out. No reporters, no cameras, no cheers. Just a young man walking out with a clean slate and one last shot at redemption. But while the court gave him mercy, the basketball world wasn't so forgiving. The University of Memphis made it official. They were cutting ties. Mikey's second chance was real, but the road back to the game that made him famous was about to be tougher than ever. No other Division I schools came calling. Puma stayed silent. No statement, no explanation, just gone. The campaign got pulled. The partnership died out quietly. Even as the legal smoke began to clear, the scent of lost potential still lingered heavy in the air. Mikey didn't just lose a season, he lost control of his own story. The same kid who once stood as the face of the NIL generation had now become a warning sign for every young athlete chasing fame too fast. No press tours, no apology videos, no emotional sit-downs, just silence. This was the same player once ranked among the top 10 recruits in the nation, a name mentioned alongside future NBA talent. Now, his name barely shows up on draft boards. While other stars from his class are shining on national TV, dancing through March Madness, or gearing up for the league, Mikey's working in the shadows, rebuilding piece by piece. But this isn't where the story ends. Not yet. The legal storm might be over, but the basketball journey is still waiting to be written. The courts may have given him a clean slate, but the basketball world, they've got long memories. The real question isn't what he did anymore. It's whether he can still become the player everyone once believed he would be. Let's keep it real. That traditional path, the one through D1 hoops, March Madness, and the NBA draft, that door is probably closed. But in today's basketball world, there's more than one way back to the top. He could take the JUC route and earn a fresh start, grind overseas in Australia's NBL or Europe to prove he's still pro-ready, or even fight his way through the G League and climb up the hard way. It's not flashy, there won't be cameras or fan hype, but that door, it's cracked open just enough for a comeback. Redemption in sports isn't rare. We've seen plenty of athletes fall and fight their way back, but what separates the ones who make it is humility, discipline, and the grind no one sees. That's what Mikey has to show now. He's dropped a few training clips here and there, jump shots, workouts, but beyond that, not much else. No interviews, no apologies, just quiet glimpses of a once dominant voice trying to find itself again. The question is, will silence be his reset or his ending? Months have passed, and the silence surrounding Mikey Williams has started to feel different. It's not the silence of a fall anymore. It's the calm before something new. Every now and then, a short clip drops on social media. A jump shot in an empty gym, a sweat-drenched workout, a flash of that familiar bounce. No captions, no explanations, just work. And for those who've been watching from day one, that says more than any interview ever could. The hype may be gone, but the hunger, that's still there. The same fire that made him a viral legend at 14 hasn't disappeared. It's just more quiet now, more controlled. Sources close to Mikey say he's been staying out of the spotlight on purpose, focusing on rebuilding both his game and his mindset. He knows he can't talk his way back, he's got to play his way back. That's the kind of mindset that turns a comeback story into a redemption classic. But the road ahead is still tough. The basketball world moves fast. New stars, new names, new stories. Mikey's got to fight for every inch of respect he once had. Scouts might have moved on, but fans haven't forgotten what he was capable of. That explosive energy, the swagger, the showmanship. If he can channel that again with maturity this time, the narrative could flip in his favor real quick. The whispers have already started. Talks of him training with pro-level coaches, getting invited to private runs with overseas players, and maybe, just maybe, eyeing a return through an international league. It wouldn't be the glamorous route, but it could be the right one. Imagine the headlines. Mikey Williams makes his return, not in the NBA, but on his own terms. That's the type of story that turns critics into believers, because in sports, redemption doesn't come from a perfect image, it comes from persistence. And if Mikey can show that he's grown, if he can prove that he's not defined by one mistake, but what he does after it, people will watch again. They always do.
Right now, Mikey's not chasing followers, fame, or viral clips. He's chasing peace. The cameras may have stopped flashing, but maybe that's what he needed all along. Space to find himself again. And when that first official game back happens, you can bet the world will be watching. Not for the hype, but for the comeback. Every comeback story needs a moment. That one spark that reminds the world what made someone special in the first place. For Mikey Williams, that moment feels closer than ever. Rumors are swirling that he's gearing up for his first official appearance since the chaos, possibly in a summer showcase or pro-am tournament. If true, it's the kind of move that could flip the narrative in an instant. The kid who once broke the internet with highlight reels might finally get his shot to rewrite his own headline, live in real time. But this time, it's different. The noise around him isn't made of hype anymore. It's built on curiosity, on questions. People aren't asking, can he dunk? They're asking, can he rebuild? And that's where things get real. The flashy plays won't be enough now. What matters most is how Mikey carries himself, on and off the court. Coaches, scouts, and fans all want to see if the lesson stuck, if the kid who once chased attention has now learned to chase growth. Insiders say he's been locked in, cutting distractions, staying off social media except for rare glimpses of his training grind. No sponsored content, no filters, just sweat, repetition, and focus. And honestly, that might be the smartest play he's ever made, because nothing speaks louder than performance, not posts, not promises, just pure results. There's talk that he's been working with mentors who've been through similar downfalls, pros who lost it all and clawed their way back. That kind of guidance could be a game changer. It's one thing to be told to keep your head up, but another to be coached by someone who's lived the fall and the rise. Those lessons don't just rebuild your game, they rebuild your character. And maybe that's what Mikey's story is really about now. Not fame, not followers, but evolution. The transformation from a viral sensation into a grounded athlete who understands what's truly important. Because when the lights come back on and that first tip-off happens, it won't just be about basketball anymore. It'll be about redemption. So when Mikey steps back onto that court, the world won't just be watching his crossover or his jump shot. They'll be watching his growth, his composure, his maturity. The cheers might sound different now, quieter, more cautious. But if he delivers, if that spark reignites, then this comeback won't just be a highlight, it'll be history. If you've been locked into Mikey's wild journey from viral prodigy to redemption in the making, don't just scroll away. Hit subscribe right now so you don't miss what happens next. Big things are coming, and when that comeback moment drops, you want to be the first to see it. Turn on those notifications, stay tuned, and be part of the story as it unfolds, because this next chapter, it's gonna be crazy.